Guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are joining us for the first time, my name is Timikemza James. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this bodycon dress with this lovely trumpet sleeve. So you can see how beautiful the dress is. So I initially wanted it to be a three-quarter dress, but I was still contemplating, so I just made it long, and I'm glad I just left it long. So let's get into it. So this is the fabric that I'm going to be using. It's stretchy and it's beautiful, right? So I want the dress to be long. I'm not sure if I want three-quarter or I want a long dress, but let me just make it long, because if I eventually want it three-quarter, I'll make it into a three-quarter. So here I'm going to mark my shoulder, right, which is 8.5 inches, like so. Then I'll mark 3 inches here for my neckline, right? So on the shoulder line, I'll mark 1 inch shoulder, like so. I'm going to fold it in 4 places. I'll connect it to the 3 inches. Are you capturing this thing properly? Like on a close range. So by the time I mark that, here I'm going to mark from that 1 inch slope. I'll come down and mark my armhole line, like so. So that 8.5 inches that I have, I'm going to mark it here as well. Then here, now what I'm going to be doing is I'll divide my bust measurement, right, into 4. I'll divide my bust into 4, so which is 12. Then I'll minus 1 inch. I'm not adding any sewing allowance, and I'm going to take out more because the fabric is stretchy, so I'll take out 1 inch. My bust measurements divided by 4 is 12, so I'll take out 1 inch, which will give me 11 inches. So I'll mark 11, like so. Then I'll mark from my shoulder point to my waist, right? So from shoulder to my waist, which is 19.5. So my waist measurement is 10.5 divided by 4, 10.5. I'll take out 1 inch, which will give me 9.5. I'll mark that here. Then I'll mark from my shoulder to my hip, which is 26 inches. So from that 26 inches, I'll mark half of my hip measurement. A quarter of my hip minus 1, 11. It's supposed to be 12 as well, which is 48 actually. So I'll just go ahead with my hip curve and connect my waist and my hip, like so. Then I connect to my bust, like so. And then now, depending on your style line on the hem, I think I'm just going to keep this line straight, right? So I'm not going to try to like pencil it out too much. Let me see what it looks like before, when I put the dress together. Then I'll decide if I want it to be penciled out or not. Now by the time I do that, I'll just make my armhole curve. So I'm just doing this by freehand. Then I'm marking 1.5 inch for the neck depth. I will eventually come back to that and make the front wider. So for the neck, you know, I've marked 3 inches. So I'm going to add 1.5 to make it 4.5, like so. You can do more or less. So I'll just go ahead and connect it to that 1.5. So that will be the back neckline. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut before I do the front.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm liking at it.
Now you can go ahead and cut facing, but before I cut my facing, let me bring out one of it for. So I'll take this out, which is the back side. So let me cut my front neck line. So I want a V neck, right? So I've done 1.5 already. So I'll just place my tape from starting from 1.5 here because I've marked 1.5 out. So I'll mark it up to, let's say, 6.5, depending on how deep you want your V-neck to be. Or any neckline of your choice, you can go ahead and mark it. So I'll just go ahead and cut like this out. And there we go. So I'm going to be using a separate fabric to cut the sleeve. So I'll be using a crepe fabric to cut the sleeve. But with what I have left here, I'm going to go ahead and cut out my necklines from this, from the excess I have here. I'll cut out my facings, sorry. I'm using this crepe fabric. I'm folding it in half and then I'm folding again because I'm cutting the two sleeves at the same time. This is what I have. Now I'll go ahead and mark the length of the sleeve. I want a long sleeve, so I'm doing 26. I marked 26 here. So just like I said, it's not a serious dress. Then I'm marking 5 inches for my calf height. Then on that calf height line, I'll mark half of my bicep measurement, like so, with 1 inch sewing allowance. Then I'll just sort of follow it nicely, like so. You can go ahead and do the entire technical way of doing sleeve, is fine. So I'll mark up to my elbow line, like so. Then I'll mark half of my elbow measurement, including sewing allowance, like so. Then I'll flay it out here because I want that sort of a trumpet sleeve. So I'll just go ahead and cut it out. I'll make a notch here. Then we head over to the sewing machine to join our dress together. So for sewing, I'm just going to start by joining the facing on the neckline. If you like, you can use bias to just turn this over. If you have enough fabric, you can just make bias out of the fabric and use it to turn it over. So using hemming gum, I'll still place hemming gum on the neckline again. I'll sew it down as I've made notches. So I'll still place hemming gum so that by the time I turn it over, it will still look okay. Like it will lie properly and it won't be flipping over. So you can see, if you like, you can trim down some of the sewing allowances. You can trim them down. So I'll do the same thing to the back neckline. Then I'll come back and show you. So now I'm going to, you can see what I did. I trimmed down the sewing allowance. So before I iron it, I'm going to join the shoulder. So I'll match the front and the back together, and I'll go ahead and join the shoulder. Like so. So I'll do the same thing on the other shoulder. Here you go. So now I'm going to join the body, or you can do the sleeve before the body, whatever works for you, but for me I'll do the body first. So using a 1/4 of an inch sewing allowance, just a 1/4 inch sewing allowance, or 1/2 inch will still work. But since I took out a lot from it, let me just work with a 1/4 inch sewing allowance and sew the dress completely. So I just lost some parts of the video of me sewing the sleeve, but this is all I have. I just added the sleeve to the dress and that was it. Look at me, guys. I'm such a beaut. The dress turned out so lovely. If you find this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. See you in my next video, but before then, a little fashion parade for you guys. Bye.